is crazy. Crazy dick suck. You're right, crazy dick suck.
Smith's story just doesn't add up.
What they're not telling us I only played one game because I cracked my kneecap.
Oh, my God.
1.5 points per game. How do you average that in one game? Is there a 1.5 pointer in Division II basketball? How do you do it? It can't be done.
He's trying to cook for real.
My nigga.
It's an impossibility. And I know I'm not great at math, but you can't average 1.5 points a game in basketball in one game.
My bone cracked in half. My first year at Winston-Salem State.
Bullshit.
Are there two Stephen Smiths that played at Winston-Salem State? Because one guy, according to the stat sheet, played 9 games, and the guy on TV is saying he never played a game. The guy on the right is Big House Gaines, the coach, who, again, Stephen A. Smith, in his memoir, claims that, Big House Gaines was like a father figure. I sat in his office, and we talked, and he was my mentor, and he's my guide, and he's this and that.
This is, hold on.
Big House Gaines, in his book, no mention of Stephen A. Smith.
This is nasty. This is nasty work. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is some nasty work. Well, as a matter of fact, let me see before I do that. Let me see if it's actually anything else Jason Whitlock said about Stephen A. Smith. Because I want to get all the context. If it's just that, then I need to see. But, okay, an hour, so this must be the thing. Let me see. Whitlock's history, don't care. Oh, wait.
Said that's at the end of plaguing our country.
Okay.
The people at the top up on a playground court. According to his book.
Okay, so this is most replayed, so we're going to go right here first.
Because he allegedly knocked down 17 straight shots. Who writes this? Who believes this?
Let's go here.
I cannot appropriately do justice to the far-fetched
Scheming
story
A is crazy.
Stephen A. Smith paints in Straight Shooter. Smith has struggled to explain it himself on TV.
I'm just going most replay parts.
In November of 2022, not that long ago, November of 2022, what is that, 14 months ago, 15 months ago? On the set of NBA Countdown with Malika Andrews, Jalen Rose, and J.J. Redick, ESPN ran a graphic of Smith, Rose, and Redick's senior year stats. Let's play this clip. I don't know what is it? Yeah, slot number 4. Slot number 3. Number 3. I want to play this clip of Stephen A. Smith, of Malika Andrews and J.J. Redick and Jalen Rose. Here's Stephen A. Smith talking about his senior year.
This nigga's, he on some
We're
hating
coming
shit.
off college hoops, guys. Yeah. So I do want to show you all a little something. I got a little something to show you here. Before we dig into the NBA, take a look at this blind resume here. It's 3 players. Their scoring average in each person's final.
Hold on, look at Stephen A. Smith's face as soon as he sees it. That's crazy. That is insane. Do you see this in his face?
College season. Do we have any guesses who this might be? Jalen, who do you think? What is this?
Nah, this is hilarious. JJ's on the right.
It's our starting lineup from tonight.
Well, they're not telling us I only played one game because I cracked my kneecap in half, but that's neither here nor there.
That is neither here.
They were just having fun with it.
Did y'all just look and hear what Stephen A. Smith just said on national TV? They put his senior year stats.
I just want y'all to know this is 100% nasty beef, and I am loving it.
Up. Everybody's giggling, and you can tell Stephen A's pretty uncomfortable early on. He ain't in on the joke, or maybe no one warned him. I don't know. He tried to loosen up at the end. But then at the end, he says, what they're not telling y'all is I only played one game because I cracked my knee. And then, so, look, I'm not good at math. Math is
I don't think you're good at basketball either.
I was a writer, and I struggle. I use both my hands and toes to count. But walk me through this and walk yourself through it. 1.5 points per game. How do you average that in one game? Is there a 1.5 pointer in Division II basketball? How do you do it? It can't be done.
I'm just trying to go to high points.
This is just in my phone. Show the picture of me and my grandmother
What?
on graduation day. Mama love you. You hear me talk about Mama love you? This is the woman that planted the seed. Do we have that picture or not? This is the woman that planted the seeds, these Christian seeds you hear me talking about. Oh, we didn't put the picture. All right, we don't have the picture of me and my, but it's on my graduation day. I'm in my graduation gear. She's next to me, hugged up. This is just in my phone this morning.
I've only seen bro talk about
I'm
football
just trying to
occasionally,
figure,
never knew
how
anything
come
about
Stephen A. Smith,
bro's.
he talks about his family, his mom, and his sister. Nobody took a picture of anything that transpired in college.
All I really know about him is his beef with with LeVar Ball, and LeVar said it best. I don't think this thing can comment about his cupcakes, candy, and snacks. He said all Jason Whitlock can comment about is candy and snacks. That shit was hilarious. All right, this is the last portion that Spike's for real.
Previously on Fearless.
Does this have anything to do with Stephen A?
We're supposed to have team meetings with Dion every Wednesday.
All right, yeah, this got something to do with Deion Sanders. I don't give a fuck about that one. All right, bet. So that was Jason Whitlock, and Stephen A. This is his response. I don't know if we're gonna watch the full 59 minutes. We're gonna do the best we can.
There's a few things going on in the world of sports that need to be addressed, but on this particular day, they don't take precedent. Instead, one would be Aaron Rodgers and his situation with the Pat McAfee show. That's necessary to address because, after all, I'm an employee for ESPN. The other would be a fat bastard that has gotten away for far too long talking his bullshit. You wanted some? Fine. I'm happy to give it to you. You
Pause.
piece of shit. The Stephen A. Smith show up next, right now.
Skip the 25 minutes into. Really? 25 minutes, you sure? What does he call? Doesn't he call him a bitch in the beginning?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you at the very least 3 times a week over the digital airwaves of YouTube. I am coming at you from our Los Angeles studios. I'm on the road, so obviously I won't be taking any phone calls today, but to be quite honest with you, I won't be taking any tweets either. I'm not in the mood. I just want to speak, and I want to get out of here because I got better things to do with my time, but there's just certain things that are necessary to get into. Before I do that, let me once again thank you all for showing me the bunch of love that you're giving me. Probably by the end of this show, I'll be up to 460,000 subscribers over the first 9 months of this YouTube channel. I can't thank y'all enough for the love and support that you've been giving me. Keep it coming, and I'm going to keep on coming. A little bit later on in the show, I almost never say his name, and that is the name of Jason Whitlock. He is a guy that has a show on Blaze TV. He is the person that I directly allude to as that fat bastard. He's a no good individual, probably the worst individual I've ever had the displeasure of ever being associated with in any capacity, and I will address him in just a few minutes. All I will say is that the things that I'm going to say, please don't hold anybody responsible for it other than me. Nobody. I even took the liberty of calling my pastor to apologize. 1,
calling his pastor to apologize in advance is crazy. 2, I did not today play Lifestyle. I did not know they was playing Lifestyle in court. That's insane. 3, I thought he was beefing with Lowe. That's fucked up.
In advance for what I'm going to say about that no good bastard. So I will address that in just a few minutes, and I'm not engaging in hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating. The pastor's name is Pastor A.R. Bernard at Christian Cultural Center. You don't believe me? Call him and ask him. I don't lie like some other people I know do. But again, I'll get into that a little bit later on in the show.
Okay, so
before I do that, it's necessary for...
Okay, so let's skip.
For some reason, I apologize. Let me get back to the subject at hand.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a black man sitting in this seat, the level of vitriol
I don't know that word.
that I have to absorb is something that I understand 99.99% of the time. You're a former player and you want to crucify me, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You're somebody that was involved in some kind of public incident that I had to speak on, whether you're the wife or ex-girlfriend or some of a former player or whatever, I get it. You're a present-day athlete and you don't like my evaluation of what has transpired before our very eyes and what I'm witnessing, that's cool. But I swear to you, on everything that I love,
I just want to say that's a lie. He has constant issues with current players, former players, when they have an issue with something he says. If he feels it's not just saying. Just want to put it out there.
it's not personal.
Fair.
I'm a sports reporter and sports commentator. That is what I have been throughout my career.
I hate when fat niggas talk crazy.
It is my responsibility to tell you what I see through my lens, how I feel about it, what my perspective is, etc.
Facts.
It's not like I'm sitting at home with absolutely nothing to do and no obligation to touch on anything, but I feel the need to invoke and ingratiate my thoughts, opinions, etc. upon the world. I actually get paid to do this. And because of that, sometimes my opinions, my thoughts, my feelings, etc. are things that you would not like.
You know I'm looking forward to
but
UFC
I have
tomorrow.
never lied to you. Ever. If I wrote a story or I wrote an article, it's based on the things that I've been told, what I've seen, and what I feel.
Factual.
It is rare that I talk about myself on a personal level because my personal life is not anybody's business and I don't get into other people's personal life. It's not something that I do. Many figures in the world of sports find themselves in personal situations, not lawlessness, not unlawful things or anything like that, but there's plenty of situations, Michael, Sherry, Juvie, where I've seen certain things and I turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to it because it's none of my business. And I leave it alone. And one of the other things that I never do, I never attack my colleagues. I might disagree with something somebody says or does, and I might have an obligation to speak on it because it's in the news or whatever, but I don't speak against my colleagues. Once humanity comes into play, that's a given. Here's the other. That's not real work. Think about this for a second. I'm supposed to be covering sports, but I make a career out of talking about my colleagues. That ain't work. That's you finding some slick way to get a check because you can't get a job. That's Jason Whitlock. That's who the hell he is. Now, I have sat back for years, at least 9 to 10 years, saying absolutely nothing about this man. I never uttered the words fat bastard out of my mouth until a few months ago. So that means that the previous 9 years, you never heard me speak on him at all. But now it's necessary. Excuse me. Because you see, if you listen to the fat bastard,
the fat bastard.
I didn't play high school ball. Even though my coach's name was Harvey Stoller, it was Thomas A. Edison Vocational and Technical High School. I played there my senior year. I was in a basketball tournament at Fashion Institute of Technology where I dropped 27 points and got a scholarship because the coach came calling me after that and what have you. If you listen to him, I never had a scholarship to Winston-Salem State, even though it's on the books. Just call the university. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an honorary doctorate member. I have an honorary doctorate from Winston-Salem State University because of my contributions to Winston-Salem State. I'm called Dr. Smith. Has something to also do with the contributions that I make because I believe about upliftment.
Wait, I'm just question. Don't you get an honorary doctorate isn't like you earned it, right? You like bought it, right? Like if a nigga gets an honorary degree, that's like the school like, oh, yeah, I fuck with the fact that you donated or helped build or, help the kids out type shit. Right? Like an honorary degree is like, they just they just give it to you. Not to take nothing away from them, not to take nothing away from your profession type shit. An honorary doctorate is crazy. Bro paid for the season pass, right?
I'm an ambassador for HBCU Week, and I've partnered with Ashley Christopher and Mir Persicki in Delaware and others to generate over 10,000 scholarships, in excess of over $65 million in scholarships for African Americans.
Hey, say it with your chest.
But this man will tell you I'm lying. He even went so far as to say my autobiography, where I talk about my mother, my father, my sisters, the business, my hiring and firing and rehiring at ESPN, I didn't write it. I didn't write my own memoir, which, by the way, is a New York Times bestseller, something he wouldn't know anything about.
He's letting his nuts hang, ain't he?
Did you know that it's now on paperback? It just came out yesterday on paperback. Do you know that you could go to Amazon.com, StraightShooterBook.com, or a bookstore nearest you to get my book in paperback? Do you know that when people are normally selling 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 copies, I've sold over 400,000? Did you know? But he will tell you, I didn't write it. He's seen my writing. Really? This article is an article written on Deadspin.com. The title, How Jason Whitlock is Poisoning ESPN's Black Grant Land.
I don't
because
know what this
remember,
means.
Bill Simmons, who's now at Spotify doing a great job, obviously had Grantland at ESPN, and upon his departure, Jason Whitlock was supposed to take up the mantle and
Yo,
create
Adam
a
West is
black
stupid.
website for folks. This article was written by a Greg Howard, published on April 27th, 2015. The same Jason Whitlock that said he's seen my writing, the same Jason Whitlock that implied that I couldn't write, the same Jason Whitlock that said that I'm lying.
Uh-oh.
What does this man do? Why would I call up this article? There's a plethora of reasons why I would do so, ladies and gentlemen.
He looking for the Carfax.
One of the reasons would be because it's as in-depth as it gets about how scurrilous, how trifling, how despicable
Scurrilous?
this man is. But there's also another reason that I'd pick up this article.
What is
Let me
scurrilous?
read the graph to you that it says. Keep in mind, Stephen A. can't write. This staff, the one Whitlock was praising by way of warnings that if the writers and editors wouldn't align with his vision, he would get rid of them, was not the one Whitlock wanted. The Undefeated, because that was the name of the title before it ultimately became And Scape. The Undefeated was originally meant to attract the best and brightest young black talent in the country, with Whitlock's aim set so high that he at one point seriously tried to recruit the Atlantic's Ta-Nehisi Coates, the sharpest cultural commentator in the business today. As things worked out, though, those young writers comprehensively refused to work with him. So did big-name ESPNers like Howard Bryant, Jamel Hill, and Stephen A. Smith. I couldn't write, huh? While you were on Blaze TV, spewing that bullshit to people. Did you tell them that? Did you tell them how you stood outside of First Take begging me to talk to you? Did you tell them that once the same article in Deadspin came out, weeks later you wrote a lengthy apology to me in an email, begging me to forgive you, pointing out how you were betrayed by this particular writer, so you know how I must feel that you betrayed me? Did you tell the folks that, you bitch? Did you tell them?
Yeah, that's gotta be a meme, bro. That's gotta be a meme.
To me in an email, begging me to forgive you, pointing out how you were betrayed by this particular writer, so you know how I must feel that you betrayed me. Did you tell the folks that, you bitch? Did you tell them? You fat piece of shit. Did you tell them that? Got the names. We got Jamel Hill. We got Howard Bryant. You want me to bring up the other writers that wouldn't work for you?
Oh my God.
Why it took you nearly 2 years to get an article out? Because you ran that shit so bad you were running it into the ground? What a disgrace you were to John Skipper, the former boss of ESPN, or the host of others. You want me to talk about that?
I want you
Because I
to.
got receipts. I got the email.
Show it.
Want me to talk about that?
Let's talk about it.
Now, just for everybody that wants to understand, how could this possibly be? Because once upon a time, I actually tried to speak up for this damn cretin.
Cretin. I know Cretin.
I knew he was a piece of shit. But I said, look, maybe he's misunderstood.
My daughter said,
Why would I
can't
do
have
that,
to
ladies
use
and
the bad
gentlemen?
words. That's
Because
hilarious.
sometimes as black folks, we get in our own way. We think that all of us must be of one monolithic thinking, that we need to be completely and totally aligned. And any deviation from that brings into question our quote-unquote blackness. Martin Luther King was a man of peace. Malcolm X was by any means necessary. They can't possibly be on the same page, even though their agendas was for the upliftment and the preservation of our race of people. So I understand when we talk about stuff like this, how people can sit up there and say, how did it get to this? How did it get to this? Remember when I got suspended years ago? You know what's out there writing stuff, smiling in my face 1 minute, talking smack about me behind my back, and then ultimately writing it? It was him. Remember when I supposedly used and people were speculating that he used the N-word on the air and all of this other stuff? He was the first one out there trying to say that I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't do it on the air, in my humble opinion. I'm telling you that. However, it's not like I didn't use the N-word when I was off the air, when I was talking to my fellas, or I was talking to other folks who happen to be black. I am not a proponent of using that word often, nor am I advocating that that word be used now. I'm just acknowledging the guilt that comes associated with me.
Wait, wait, what? We got him using the N-word on set? Wait. Talk about Whitlock. Why are we harping on you saying nigga? Hold on.
In terms of when I was younger. But I was always saying we as black people communicate how we want to communicate with each other. I love John Wooten, who's been associated with the Fritz Alliance, the Fritz Pilot Alliance. Love that man. Love his contributions to the NFL. But when we would get into it in the past on rare occasions, it wasn't that he wanted the eradication of the N-word, because I support that. My issue with him was, hey, you shouldn't be encouraging the NFL to fine us and penalize us for using it amongst ourselves. How can a race of people who actually made the word iniquitous be in a position to punish us for using the word with one another? I had a problem with that.
Type shit.
And I stand by that. But I digress. My point is, in bringing up all of that, Jason Whitlock pounced on it. Because that's what he does.
Pouncing ass nigga.
You see what he does?
Bouncing ass nigga.
He's the one that puts himself in front of white folks.
Uh-oh.
The white folks. Not all white folks. Not most white folks. But the white folks that dare we say may have a problem with black folks.
Uh-oh.
He says, I'm your man. That's what he does.
Not him calling him my Uncle
think I'm
Tom.
Ask ESPN. Ask Fox. Ask the Kansas City Star. Ask them all. Jamel Hill. Rob Parker. Chris Broussard. Skip Bayless.
Skip.
Yours truly. Along with a host of black folks all over this country. Every single one of them will confirm what the hell I'm saying about this piece of garbage.
Wait, we lumping in Skip with the black folks? Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, as a black man,
Skip black.
I often told y'all, I cannot imagine, as a black man, knowing our history, anything worse than a white supremacist. That is, until Jason Whitlock came along. He's worse than them.
Wait, what
He
did
is
he
the
just
worst.
say?
Anything,
What did
one of them will confirm what the hell I'm
did he
saying
just say?
about this piece of garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, as a black man, I often told y'all, I cannot imagine, as a black man, knowing our history, anything worse than a white supremacist. That is, until Jason Whitlock came along.
Yo, this...
He's worse than them. He is the worst, most despicable, lying, no good, fat ass human being I have ever known in my life. And I'm gonna take a break, because I got more.
Not
in a
more.
minute.
Not
You're listening
more.
to the Stephen A. Smith Show.
Not
right
more.
here on YouTube. Don't go away.
And this nigga start promoting the book.
All. It will never happen again. He's irrelevant. He's not important. He's insignificant, and he knows it. And he did all of this to try and bait me into this, all of this stuff. I know that's how people are looking at it. My family and friends, and everybody thinks the same thing. My point is, I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because I've been holding it in for 18 years. And so there comes a point in time where, at the very least, at least one time, you have to address it. It's necessary. It's important. Okay? And as we sit here today talking about this subject, there's certain things that we just don't need to let go. You know, we just don't need to let go. Because there comes a point in time when enough's enough. And that time has arrived. Getting back into him and to really elaborate extensively on us. Ladies and gentlemen, John Skipper, the former boss for ESPN, wanted to start this website. And if you remember, when The Undefeated first came into existence, it was labeled the premier platform for intelligent analysis and celebration of black culture and the African-American struggle for equality. That's what it was labeled as. Now that I read you that quote, let me give you a quote that this guy, Greg Howard, has a recording of Jason Whitlock saying to his staff at that time. If you're more comfortable working for white people rather than working for me, and that sounds humorous, but it's the truth, fine. This is according to audio obtained by Deadspin back in 2015. Some black people are far more comfortable answering to a white person than a black person, no matter how black they like to pass themselves off to be. Far more comfortable because they know a white person is going to overlook their shortcomings. It's good for a Negro. I'm not about that. But if you're more comfortable working for a white person, I will find a white person for you to work for. We have a higher standard here. Everybody has to get on board with that, or I'm going to find a way to move them someplace else. That was Jason Whitlock. And then he went out and hired a senior writer and editor, Mike Wise, who's white. This is the man that's in charge of black culture. Why can I say that? And by the way, I'm not casting any aspersions against Mike Wise. I'm cool with him. I've always been cool with him. He used to work for the New York Times, used to cover the Knicks long before he moved on to the Washington Post. He's a credible journalist. I have nothing negative to say about him. I'm just saying, black website, but you bring in your white friend. In part, because black folks didn't want to work for you. But I digress.
Hey, digress.
Ladies and gentlemen, how serious I am? Am I? I have a contract that I negotiated with ESPN and I signed in 2015. I don't know of anyone who has this in their contracts. I had it in my contract, and I have a copy of it, where it specifically stipulates that I never work with Jason Whitlock. It's in writing. No wonder you did.
I thought he was about to say, I got it in my contract that I don't work specifically for white people. I was about to be like, yeah, damn. At ESPN?
And see him on First Take. You didn't see him on Undisputed with Skip Bayless either. Skip Bayless wouldn't allow him on there. You didn't see him on Numbers Never Lie either. Jamel Hill and Michael Smith wouldn't allow him on there. Christopher Broussard for Fox Sports and Fox Sports Radio. Let me take a moment to tell you about Chris Broussard. If Chris Broussard were not in this industry, do you know where he'd probably be? Probably, because I don't know for sure, but probably be, y'all? In a monastery. He's one of the most religious, God-fearing, decent human beings you will ever encounter.
I thought he was about to say something foul.
It doesn't get any better than Christopher Broussard. And he can't stand Jason Whitlock. Look around. Don't y'all notice why black people scurry away? Whenever
the Christian don't like him. How can y'all?
Named Whitlock. Because we know what he is.
That's crazy.
We know what he is. Blaze TV. You may not know. Glenn Beck, Dave Rubin, the great one himself, Mark Levin. I bring up Blaze TV, which is where Whitlock works, because I want Blaze TV to understand I'm not talking about you. I know you're conservative, you're conservative, I get all of that. I'm not judging accordingly. I know Mark Levin well. We have one another on speed dial. We talk all the time. The same applies to Sean Hannity, the Andrew Wilkows of the world. Okay? I talk to these folks. I'm not one of those people that's married to one side or the other. And decent people are everywhere. Be careful that you don't get your stuff stained and stenched by Whitlock. He can do that to people. He is the worst. He's not ethical. He's not moral. Clearly, based over what I told you about me, he's also not factual most of the time. He will lie. He will denigrate. And he will turn against anyone to serve his own good. The real reason, and casting no aspersions on what Blaze TV presents and what it has to offer, the real reason he's there is because he can't get a job anywhere else.
Damn.
He hasn't burnt bridges. He's napalmed them. Call Eric Shanks and Charlie Dixon at Fox. Call Jimmy Pitaro, Burke Magnus, Dave Roberts, Norby Williamson at ESPN. Call them. Call them. Call John Skipper at Meadowlark Media. I'm giving you names. I'm giving you names. That's just, I already gave you on-air talent names. I gave you reporters and on-air talent. Ladies and gentlemen.
This shit is too funny.
The same Jason Whitlock that wanted to talk smack about me is the same Jason Whitlock that wanted to hire me. It's the same Jason Whitlock that stood outside doors trying to get me and coax me into even having a conversation with them because they knew I was so disgusted with him, presumably after he hit a strip club, because we all know ain't nobody trying to go out with him, okay? The same Jason Whitlock, that guy, is the same guy that sent both Dan Le Batard and Isaiah Thomas, the two-time champion, a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, now working on NBA TV, that guy, that same Jason Whitlock, sent those folks to talk to me. Please, is there something that can be worked out? Can you forgive him? Can you talk to him? My words and my promise to them was that I want nothing to do with him. I will never hurt him from getting opportunities, but I'll be damned if I'm going to help him by being associated with him in any way. Do you know why I said that, ladies and gentlemen? As black people, and I guess I was wrong. I should say at this particular moment in time, I was wrong to call him a fat bastard or a roach and all of this other stuff, because that's not my name for him. My name for Jason Whitlock is religiously Cain. C-A-I-N. You see, a lot of black folks, we talk about how we're the original man on the face of this earth. Well, that means Cain was the original murderer, because he's the one, according to the Bible, who killed Abel. That's Jason Whitlock. There is nothing good about him.
Yo, what the
Absolutely
fuck
nothing.
am I listening to?
And I challenge anybody that knows anything about him to refute what I'm saying. I have the facts. They're all here.
This nigga called him the original murderer.
I know what he's done. The biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes that John Skipper could have ever made as the former boss of ESPN was hiring that man. Everyone knows it. That's why he attacks ESPN. That's why he attacks colleagues and contemporaries in the industry. It's not just because he thinks he's smarter. It's not just because he's fearful of anybody smarter than him in the same room. It's not just because
he's throwing up the set, guys.
Of those reasons. It's because he truly despises us all. It's who he is. And the funny part about it is, when he sits up there and he says, you know, I can't do this or I can't do that. Look, I'm 56 years old. If y'all think now that I'm successful in this business, that I gotta sit here and lie about me playing basketball in high school to write in my own damn memoir, at this point in time in my life, I can't help y'all. I'm not gonna waste my time with that silliness. What I would say to you, however, is this. I have a bestseller. Where's his?
Talking shit.
I got let go by ESPN and they brought me back. They won't let him in within city limits. I'm telling you what I know. How the Fox thing work out?
Not ESPN banned this nigga from the city. Oh my God.
When he was on the air arguing with Christopher Broussard or arguing with Marcellus Wiley.
Shout out Marcellus.
What happened to him? He wants to talk about me. That's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, he'd give anything to have my job. He'd give anything to have my resume. He ain't on ESPN. I got the #1 show. Where his show do? How's his show do? You ever see this despicable dude on television? I'm not even getting into how difficult he is to look at. I'm saying, have you ever listened to him? Who wants him? I don't speak like this, ladies and gentlemen, but what else, what other explanation is there other than his evil, vile tendencies than you want to be me? You wish you were in this position, didn't you? Don't you? You wish you had the #1 show for 12 years, don't you?
Not jealousy.
You wish you could do that, don't you? You wish you could be on national television every day, don't you? It ain't bragging. I work for it. Everybody else works for it. The only people out here trying to hurt people is you. You have literally made a career off talking about people in the industry who do what you do. In other words, you don't want to do it better. Then why don't you have a job outside of Blaze TV? Why are you at Blaze TV? Not to knock Blaze TV. But we know that's not where you want it to be. You want to be at ESPN. You want to be running a black website. You want to go to Fox. You want to be on television. You want to do all of these things. Jason Whitlock, what's up? Are you watching the show? I mean, it ain't Club Shay Shay where you break the internet with the Cat Williams interview, but I do pick up at least 1,500 subscribers per day. I am at over 460,000. I just started 9 months ago.
Not the number talk.
You've been at it, whether it's May of 2021 or July of 2021. You've been at it since then. I've already surpassed you. Sound familiar? Because of what I've been doing to you your entire career. You are a great writer. Your mistake was you started talking.
Damn.
And words wanting to be seen while you were talking.
Damn.
Which is why your quality and your value plummeted.
Damn.
Because when we see you and we listen to you, we know how worthless you are. This is a dude that, according to reports, literally tried to put a tape recorder under a hotel door to spy on what Allen Iverson was having to say. According to this article in Deadspin, he plagiarized one of his own editors. Somebody with these credentials, with this history of iniquities, with this disgusting reputation.
Oh my God.
Y'all want to listen to him talk about me, fine, but let me leave you with this before I get on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, you know why he's talking about me? Because I get him clicks. That's what he's been reduced to. See, this is a passion and a hobby for me. I have a day job. that's paying me quite well. I own and operated this. This cost me money because I invested my own money with my new studio, with my staff, and with everything that I've done to do this. He's leaning on Blaze for a check because he can't find one anywhere else.
That's tough.
I ask any of you connected to this industry from this point forward because I know my colleagues. They don't want to touch this subject because he's a bully, and they don't want to deal with the fallout of him constantly coming at them. I don't give a shit.
Talk your shit, gang.
He came to the one. I know what he is. I have the emails. I have the articles. I have everything. I once tried to befriend this dude. I don't talk to him because he betrayed me. As he has others. He's turned his back on Dan Le Batard. He's turned his back on all of those other colleagues that I mentioned. Ask Jamel Hill about him. Ask Dan Le Batard. Ask Chris Broussard. Let me stop naming names. Ask anybody in the industry.
Shout out to you, Andrew. Appreciate the 10 bits. I'll catch you after work, gang.
I can give you the names of the executives if you want. All of them. At Fox, the executives, upon telling their subordinates that they were bringing Jason Whitlock on board, said, quote, "We'll all band together and stand on the tracks in front of a train to stop it, if that would prevent you from hiring him here."
Zuda, appreciate you for the 100 bits, gang.
He is despised. He doesn't report anymore, y'all. All he does is make noise.
What's good,
by
TJ?
coming after the very people who did and still does what he once did, what he aspires to do, but no longer has the outlet to do because he is considered a vile, despicable human being that no one wants anything to deal with. Nothing. That's who he is. I will not be speaking on him anymore. He's a liar. He's a piece of shit. My apologies to ESPN. My apologies to my family, my friends, my staff, my employees. My apologies to Fox for staining their name by even mentioning the fact that he was once there. My apologies to John Skipper. My apologies to Dan Le Batard and Stu Gotts and their show. My apologies to Jamel Hill. I didn't even mention Kerry Champion. He was insulting to her, along with others. Whether it's Amina Kimes, whether it's Monica McNutt, it's Kimberly. He got something to say about everybody. Molly Kiram, my matriarch, for First Take every weekday. My apologies to everybody that you had to see me out of character to address this dude. But I ask for everybody indulgence for one show and one show only. And please do not allow this to be a reflection on my character because this is not how I act every day. But I mean it from my soul when I say this is the worst human being I've ever known. I don't know of another human being worse than Jason Whitlock. He is a piece of shit. He's the dude that's going to have a funeral and ain't going to be no pallbearers.
Oh, my God.
Might be 2 people to show up. He's that dude.
Damn.
He is the absolute worst. And he lies. And he incriminates. And he tries to set people up to fail, to big up himself because he can't do it on his own. He had a television show. He failed. He's had opportunities one time after another. He doesn't measure up. And now he's coming at the big dog. And let me tell you something right now. I am the big dog. I ain't the only one. There's plenty. Skip Bayless, apologies to him too for bringing up Jason Whitlock's name in the same sentence as him. But we all know what time it is. Everyone knows. All the executives at all the networks, they know what a piece of shit he is. And they begged me not to do this. But even my pastor, A.R. Bernard, said, I'm not happy about it. But every now and then we got to do what we got to do.
Not the pastor.
I promise you. And last to my sister Carmen, I won't do this again. I promise you. I know you cringing. You didn't want me to do this. I'm sorry, sis. It was necessary. He's a sorry, fat piece of shit. A no of the worst order. That's who he is. And I want to make sure everybody knows that.
Oh, my God.
And I said to Isaiah Thomas, and I said to Dan Le Batard, if you care anything about our friendship, don't ever call me about him again. I'm a very forgiving person. Not with him. I don't care what beef I had. I don't care how many of you out there that hate me, whatever former athletes, all this stuff. Man, please, I'm sorry. Because I certainly don't hate y'all. We might have our differences from time to time, but it ain't never that. This is the exception. I hate this bastard. Not even, far more than a little bit.
This shit is too funny sped up.
He's the worst human being any of you will ever meet. You get within a mile of his presence, Wrap your arms around yourself to protect your soul.
Damn.
He is Cain. He is a devil. The worst. That's all I have to say. Y'all have a nice day. I'm going to go about my business.
Yo, this is so fucking... Hold on. Wrap your arms around yourself and protect your soul. Oh, my God. First comedian's going at it, and now journalist. This is going to be a wild year. And another